Hey everyone, welcome back and happy Thursday. All right, guys. Well, Sheena Shea is throwing a little bit of shade in. Are we mad at her for it? No, absolutely not. I think Raquel sounds like a complete moron, which I used earlier. Um, but we're going to discuss all of this on Up and Adam channel 2. Guys, if you didn't catch our Real Housewives of Salt Lake City recap with Ashley from Taste of Reality, definitely go be a part of the replay crew. So much fun always. But in the meantime, if you're not subscribed, get subscribed. Don't forget to hit that notification bell. As you guys know, I am headed out of town. So I will be out of town just until Saturday. I'm going to Salt Lake City. I'll keep you guys posted. There's only so much I can say, but I'll keep you guys posted on my trip. So with that, let's jump right in. All right, guys. So I don't know if you saw this, but Raquel Leviss's publicist is taking over her podcast. What a joke. ThinkItArealityT.com. Raquel Leviss's podcast is done, or so we thought. Rachel Goes Rogue has found a new owner. Juliet Harris, Rachel's publicist, has gone rogue and taken over the podcast. Rachel started her podcast at the height of Scandal, only to end Rachel Goes Rogue 65 episodes later. But as for why, Rachel said, I've made the decision to take both feet out of the Vanderpump Rules universe and focus on myself. Focus on my life and my healing. Unfortunately, for some, the end of the podcast probably won't be the end for Rachel. She'll likely pop up in reality shows in the future. And if she had it her way, she'd love to do a competition show. But where does that leave her podcast? It was just yesterday where Rachel's podcast strangely found itself with a new upload. How odd, considering Rachel signed off. However, the new episode titled Signing Back On didn't feature Rachel at all. Instead, her publicist took up the microphone. As such, the podcast rebranded itself as Going Rogue rather than Rachel Goes Rogue. The episode's description explained Rachel has signed off, but her publicist, Juliet, is just getting started by introducing Going Rogue, a guest hosting series about all things pop culture. She's kicking things off with the real inside scoop on how Rachel is doing since leaving Hollywood, sharing some interesting thoughts on recent Vanderpump Rules news, and digging into headlines involving Ellen DeGeneres and Diddy. A listener almost has to respect Juliet's hustle. Got to get those 15 minutes of fame wherever she can get it, right? But of course, there's no telling how long this will last, and Going Rogue may flop right out of the gate. But then again, if Ann Maddox can become a star of Vanderpump Rules, anyone can make it, is what they're saying. So as far as Juliet and Rachel's future, only time will tell. I think that this is such a... I don't even know what to call this. I find it to be like a little bit of a joke. Kind of. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like what she essentially is doing is she's taking an already successful podcast with, this is the thing. Let's see how many podcast numbers that this podcast has. Because if the podcast has good numbers, then she just literally handed over Going Rogue. She handed over an already working podcast to her publicist, which means she is probably going to get some sort of kickback for it. Going Rogue. If it's over like 3,000 reviews, ratings, whatever, 4.2 thousand, 3 stars. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Over 4,000. So she just handed her an already operable business. So that was really nice of Rachel, but don't think that anything in this life, you guys, comes free. Obviously, Rachel has some sort of situation worked out with her former publicist, or her publicist. I'm sorry, her publicist, not former, but with her publicist, where the publicist is now going to be capitalizing off of the very podcast that Rachel built. And Rachel, will probably, because any podcast network is taking anywhere from 15 to 35%. So she is probably getting an additional 20% by handing it over to Juliet. And Juliet is probably going to collect the rest of the money, which is easily going to be $5,000 to $10,000 extra a month just by doing a podcast. So good for you, Juliet. Way to make your bank. Way to make your buck. Way to do what you gotta do. Now, moving on. Thank you to page 6. Sheena Shea savagely reacted to Rachel Leviss, Raquel, quitting her podcast, pretty much saying that she's surprised it took this long. Sheena is sharing her unfiltered opinion about Raquel Leviss, calling it quits on her podcast. And she said, I'm surprised it took this long, while also promoting her partnership with Smirnoff. Now, Raquel, who was once close friends with former castmate Sheena, announced last week that she was ending Rachel Goes Rogue less than a year after launching it because she wanted to move on to a more balanced and healthier life. I've made the decision to take both feet out of the Vanderpump Rules universe and focus on myself, focus on my life and my healing. I've decided to walk away from continuing the podcast because I would like to move on from having one foot in the door of Vanderpump Rules and one foot out. Raquel's first episode dropped on January 8th with early iterations largely focused on unpacking her earth-shattering affair with Tom Sandoval, which fans dubbed as Scandoval. Yep, you guys remember. Sheena fell out with Raquel over an assortment of issues related to the infidelity scandal, primarily rooted in how it hurt the Good as Gold singer's longtime pal and Sandoval's now ex, Ariana Madix. But she was quick to acknowledge that Rachel Goes Rogue was not a complete failure. Here's the thing. I believe everyone should have a voice and be able to get their side of the story out. And that was her way of doing it. So good for her. I did not see the longevity in this podcast when it started, and I was actually surprised that it went on for 60 something episodes. So good for her for being able to do it for that long. It's not easy. People think, oh, I'm going to start a podcast. And it actually takes a lot of work. Now, the Bravo celebrity has hosted her own podcast, Shenanigans, for more than 6 years, consistently booking in demand guests and breaking news and exclusive interviews with top unscripted talent. And still, my heart races before every interview. I get nervous. Even recording my solo episodes, I'm like, oh my God, I'm getting out of breath. It's not easy. For anyone who thinks I'm just going to start a podcast, there's a lot of work that goes into it. And if you want to make it successful and actually pay the bills with it, yeah, you got to work, bitch. Now, when Sheena's not podcasting, the self-proclaimed sports girly loves kicking back by watching an NFL on the couch or in real life. The football season enthusiast is teaming up with Smirnoff for its Ultimate Game Day Matchups campaign, kicking off this week. And with viral matchmaking software Matchbox, she and the beverage brand, are bringing football fans together at live events with trivia and cocktails included, starting with the Vikings versus the Rams showdown in Los Angeles on Thursday. They're bringing unique game day experiences, uniting football fans. You got good drinks, you got football. You're going to make some new friends for sure. And I'm very happy to be a partner with them and to be a part of this experience. It's just a really cool way to bring football fans together. Look at that. Okay. All right, guys, I want to hear what your thoughts are. Pop off in the comment section, please. If you guys are not subscribed, definitely go ahead and get subscribed. I will keep you guys posted on everything else. But mind you, again, I am going to be heading out of town today. I'm going to be headed out to Salt Lake City. I can't tell you guys exactly what I'm going to be up to. Obviously, you guys know that, but you will find out sooner rather than later. But in the meantime, just do all of the YouTubey things. Smash the like button. Show some love. Don't forget that there is no Hot Messy Topics tomorrow. But starting next week, we'll get back into the Hot Messy Topics, the Real Housewives of New York recaps, Salt Lake City recaps. I'm interviewing a house husband. All of those things will be out. So I love you guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.